Welcome to the WTF podcast. I'm Molly Smith, and I'm on a mission to equip 1 million people with the tools to recognize when they're in the funk and, more importantly, how to pivot out of it. By tuning in today, you have joined me on that mission, and I am so glad that you are here. Friends, today you are in for a treat. My guest is not only a dear friend, she has also been one of the most transformational people in my life over the past 18 months. To know Lena is to feel like you are sitting with your best friend. She tells it like it is, adds just the right touch of humor, and somehow makes you feel instantly at ease. She's a best-selling author, international speaker, and a master of breaking down frequently misunderstood concepts like manifestation, energetics, and how limiting beliefs can get in the way of creating the life we want. Lena has a gift for turning all of that into practical strategies that are actually easy to use. After working for more than 25 years at a Fortune 100 company, Lena has gone on to build her own thriving business, helping others shift from living by default to intentionally creating their life by design. Lena's success today is undeniable, but it's her own journey through the funk that gives such depth to the work that she does today. I cannot wait for you to hear this conversation with my friend and soul sister, Lena Khais. Lena, welcome to the WTF podcast.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
so
so fun.
I'm so glad that you're here. This is, I mean, of course, this conversation was destined to happen, of course, because you're my person, right?
Well, and WTF, let's go.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so tell me about what is going on. Like, what are you really excited about, either in your life or in your business right now? Kind of tell us where you are today.
Oh, that is such a beautiful question. So, it's interesting because I believe that the way we move through life is not an upward trajectory. It's
Yeah.
almost like a ladder, right? And we
Mhm.
go from a step to a step. And everybody's like, okay, whatever. Like we've heard that analogy many times. But a step is a mini plateau. It's flat.
Yeah.
So when you step up to that step, you actually have a moment to catch your breath and go like, okay,
Mhm.
what's next? Right? So that happened to me in my business actually this year because I've been running for several years. I've had my chassis, working together. And I got to the point when I was like, I am standing on a step. What would I love?
Yes.
And then it hit me. I would love to create a movement of life by design. I don't exactly know what it looks like. I
Right.
just know how it feels. It's having more and more people who are happy and intentionally taking the reins of control of their life,
Yeah.
curating the reality that they enjoy.
I love that. I love that. Tell me about how just in recently you have seen that happen in the lives of the people that you're working with.
You know what? Actually, it was a question that prompted this discovery. You know that my jam is helping people break through financial plateau. I
Yes.
have been jokingly serious, seriously joking that I don't touch relationship and I don't work on health and wellness. My niche is money energy. And so I had a person approach me to say, you know what, actually, I feel like I'm pretty balanced in my area of finances and wealth, but relationships is where I'm challenged. Now it's like talking to the wrong girl.
That's not my thing.
And she was like, I don't think I am talking to the wrong girl
Oh, interesting.
because isn't everything interconnected? So I reached out to my community, people who have worked with me, and I posed the question. And my question was, what have you noticed in your life as you're doing the self discovery, as you're working with me, as we're pivoting you out of the funk and pulling you out of the income plateau?
Right.
And it was fascinating to me how people reflected on the improvement in their relationship with their family, with their loved ones, with their friends, how they have deepened their connections to some
Yeah.
people that they've lost touch with a long time ago.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, So this is life by design. You can study the principles in the context of something tangible like growing your business, but the ripple effect is actually all encompassing.
I love that. So your focus is actually removing those income blocks, money
Yes,
manifestation. But in doing that work, you truly are creating a life by design that ripples to other parts of your life, like relationships. That's
precisely.
amazing. I love that. I love that. Okay, tell me about a time where you were in the funk. Take us back there. What was going on? How were you feeling? Because we want to highlight amazing people doing incredible things, but doing so, coming out of the funk.
So I want to give you credit for actually taking me on this journey because naturally I read your book, naturally,
Thank
multiple
you.
times with a highlighter. And when you asked me that question as we were getting ready for this conversation, I was looking for times in my life that felt low frequency,
Hmm.
low vibration, almost like slow and depressed.
Right,
And I wasn't finding it there. And I was like, oh, does it mean I was never in the funk? Well, God knows I've been in the funk.
right.
And then it hit me. Everyone's funk is different. Everybody has their own flavor of funk. So actually, my lowest point was my busiest phase of life.
Oh, that's very
Oh,
interesting. Okay,
my,
tell us about
yeah.
that.
So Molly, my funk wasn't me doom scrolling social media in the middle of the night, curled up on a sofa in a fetus position. I was working 18-hour days,
Thanks.
completely neglecting my family, getting to the point where like I was unavailable to feed my toddlers. Like I was just not there. Like I was literally throwing donuts at them from the distance just to pacify them because I was in this whirlwind of corporate project
Okay.
where it felt like I was in this caught in a current, which is I'm in Pennsylvania, so Jersey Shore is super close. We get those really weird tunnels that if you caught, it kind of starts pulling you down. And the harder you fight, the more exhausted you become, the more you feel the resistance, and like your body gets tired, your muscles are cramping up, and eventually you can't even fight that.
Right.
So the low point, which wasn't the breaking point, the low point was when in the middle of that funk, we were supposed to go away for a long weekend, just the family. And we were already in the car, pulling out of driveway when my cell phone rang and my boss said, we need to hunker down and we need to get this done. And it's all hands on deck this weekend. And I got out of the car and I watched my husband drive away with two of my babies.
Oh my goodness.
So
Mm.
I walk into the kitchen, I open a bottle of beer.
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
nothing classy about that. It wasn't like a Cosmo Martini. It was a bottle of beer.
Sure,
And
sure.
I literally worked like 20-hour days that weekend. By the time they were coming back, I fully expected him to serve me divorce papers because I was
Yeah,
really not a very fit parent at that time.
sure. How old were the kids then?
So Anna was about 4 or 5, which
Okay.
made Danik about 8 or 9.
Wow. So
So,
Vlad took them on the weekend getaway and you stayed at home and
huh?
worked 20-hour days on this business project.
He
Okay.
didn't call, he didn't text.
Yikes.
It was almost like he gave me that space to feel like you wanted to be immersed in whatever you were doing.
Here you go.
Here you go,
Yeah.
right? By the time they were driving back, I told my boss, I said, I don't think I can do this for much longer. Like, I haven't done laundry in weeks. I
Yeah.
haven't made meal, like homemade meal in weeks.
Yeah.
Like I haven't talked to my husband in weeks. And her reply to me was, "Do you want me to hire you a housekeeper?" And I
Are you
distinctly
joking?
and I distinctly remember saying, "And you probably also need an escort woman for my husband because I haven't been present for him either."
Oh my gosh. Your boss actually
Mhm,
said, let me hire you a housekeeper. Like, let me make it easier at home so that you can be more available to do this corporate work.
mhm.
Now, let me ask you something. I want to dig in here because you and I have both been in the corporate funk before. Lord knows we've swapped stories. But in this point in your career, what were you chasing or what were you going after? What was it that was driving you to do this like level of work and these hours? What was the motivation behind that at that point in your life?
You don't even realize what a brilliant question you asked. The boogeyman, the ambiguity. I didn't
Ambiguity.
know. And I find that the fear grows the most
Mhm.
when it's least defined.
Oh, absolutely. I could not agree with that more. Yes.
So I wasn't worried about something tangible. It wasn't about losing my position or
Okay.
failing on the project or getting
Yeah.
in trouble with the board of directors or like there wasn't anything tangible. It was almost like that looming black cloud when the storm is coming and you don't quite know what it is.
Mm,
Like, is it a tsunami? Is it just a wind and rain and like what will it? It's just omen.
right.
So I was like in this thick energy of omen
Mm,
where I was busy. Like
yeah.
I literally worked in pajamas, the same set of pajamas for days.
Right.
So my husband came back with kids and we finished the project. And I got a $30,000 bonus. And my
Wow.
husband said, "What are we going to do about it?" And I said, "Well, we're going to take kids to Disney." Because remember, I was living the American dream.
Yes.
I was a wife and a mom, a boy and a girl, a dog and a house, missing picket fence. So, of course, what do? You take kids to Disney. So, we took
Right.
kids to Disney. We had a trip, really nice time. And then that was the breaking point when we were sitting at the airport in Orlando. And I
Going
watched
to or coming back? Coming
coming
back?
back.
Okay. Yeah.
We were coming back. We're waiting to get boarded. And Anna started crying.
Mm,
And I was like, "Oh, babe." She's like 5 at the time, right? So
right.
I'm like, "Oh, babe, are you gonna miss Mickey?" And she looked at me and she goes, "I'm gonna miss you."
Oh, that's a gut punch for any mom. Oh my
I
goodness.
was like, WTF.
Right. Yeah.
So I looked at my husband and he looked at me and he goes,
Mm,
"We will never have a year like the year we have just gone through."
yeah.
And that was the breaking point. Like watching my child cry because she felt like her time with me was up.
Yeah.
Not because I was terminally ill, not because I was in a hospital, not because I was fighting for my life,
Yeah.
because I was working on some project.
Yeah. Really
And I
puts it
was
in
like,
perspective.
girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, like, even talking about it makes me physically sick right now
Yeah.
because it was definitely like that was the funk. That was the
Yeah.
mother of funks.
Yeah.
But what I would say is every experience we go through is meant for us.
Oh, for sure.
There were so many things that came out of that really painful, dark moment.
Yeah.
And to a degree, Molly, I credit my very close relationship with my daughter
Mm.
to that very tangled year in our life
Yeah.
where then I said, okay, we're going to pivot.
Yeah.
We're going to start rebuilding the relationship from this point on.
Forward. Now, so she said that to you in the airport in Orlando. You come back to Pennsylvania. What were the couple of things that you did to start to make changes to pivot out of the mother of all funks, as you said?
So, I'm a big believer in bridging things. Like it's very
Absolutely.
hard to go from a low point to a high point and sustain it. You need
Absolutely.
a bridging thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
So in my family, we have a relationship with food. So I knew we needed something that is comforting that we all love. So we made
Yes.
an agreement that from that day on, we will always have dinner together.
Oh, that's first of all, I love that. And I've sat around your kitchen table and I have eaten at your table and it's amazing. But I love how simple that is. It wasn't, a deep conversation with your boss. It wasn't looking for another job or doing it like it literally was, I'm going to intentionally create space to connect with my family in a meaningful way by sitting down to dinner, which quite honestly is lost in this generation. And I too am, victim to that. I do need to create more intentionality around that. But I love that how simple that was.
And the
Okay.
coolest part, we were able to keep that tradition going for 10 years now.
Love it. Yeah.
And so our oldest is now away in college.
Yeah.
And to this day, he will call and say, you know what? I feel like I need a home meal. And he would drive home for one night. One night. He will come, he will have dinner, sleep over, and go back to his life. And to this day, Anna would say, can we just talk? Like a dinner, can we just talk?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is when you break bread together,
Mm.
this is where authenticity and like that original relationship happens.
I love that. And I talk a lot about with my clients talking about, okay, how do you want to feel in a particular moment, and then taking an aligned action that will ground you in that feeling that you want. And when you have those experiences and you look back at, hey, I want to feel energized or aligned, or I want to feel confident or whatever it is, you can go back to a memory or a time where you felt that way and you can anchor that dinner has become an anchor in your
Yes.
family, so much so that 10 years later, your adult son, who is in a second year of college, knows when he needs that anchor moment and drives
Mhm.
home from college to have an anchor moment like that. That is massive. So here's what I want everybody who's listening to hear is that sometimes pivoting out of the funk is not making big sweeping changes. Matter of fact, it's usually not making big sweeping changes. It's taking one intentional action that is going to drive the feeling that you want to feel. And what you did with that dinner was absolutely amazing. So tell us a little bit of the rest of the story. So you started how you started those dinners, and so you had to create space in your daily life with your work and the balancing and all of that to make that happen. Did you, first of all, I'm going to answer my own question. You probably never went back to that type of work.
Correct.
Okay. So let me ask this question. Did the wheels fall off at the office when you did
No,
that? That's right.
no.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's where you really start leaning into curating your reality.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
this is where I will say again, you don't need drastic changes. I didn't quit my job,
Yeah.
but I did have a moment of sobriety when I
Yes.
realized that there are certain divisions in every business that have certain life cycles
Yes.
that are not a match to what I'm looking for in life.
Mm, yes.
Which didn't mean that I would leave the company. It meant that I looked for another opportunity and transitioned to a different division that allowed a healthier work life balance.
Yes. I
So
love
I
that.
find that a lot of times people are afraid to make the change because they feel like they literally need to like die and reincarnate in order to like shift the needle, right?
Or burn it all down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which you don't need to do. Right.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there are situations in life that are non-negotiable, like if we're talking
Right.
about addictions and things like that. But when we're talking about pivoting in life and getting yourself out of the funk,
Yeah.
like funk is fog. It's the thick energy, it's the static where it's hard to
Mm.
hear and difficult to see.
Yes.
So we have a dear friend who is from Switzerland, and we were talking about some memories from his childhood. And of course, when we talk Switzerland, what do we see? Like pastures, beautiful green meadows, and amazing chocolate.
Yes.
He's like, we have like 8 months out of the year of very thick fog
Oh, I
where you
didn't know
don't
that.
see the sun, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, what we do is we actually go up in mountains to break through the layer of fog
Mm.
to get to the sunlight.
Love it.
So sometimes you need to take a couple of steps. You
Yes.
don't need to climb the entire flipping mountain. We're not talking about Mount Everest.
Correct.
You just need to get
Yeah.
yourself just a bit out of that funk,
Yeah.
right?
I love that.
So if you're stuck in a job that you hate, that doesn't make you a loser. It's just a signal that you're out of alignment with what you would love.
Yes.
And what would you rather be doing? And perhaps it's in the same company. Perhaps it's even with the same team.
Right.
Like you don't have to burn all the bridges.
Yeah. I love this. I love this. So relatable. Okay, so if our listeners are in that place where they are just going 90 to nothing and they feel like they're in that whirlpool and they cannot break free from that current, what is one thing that you could give them, one advice, tip that could help them take that next best step to pivot out of the funk?
Find one thing that you love
Mm.
and start small.
Yes, and do it.
So for us, it was meals, it was food.
Mhm.
It was something that we already enjoyed sharing together that became that one small tangible thing that
Yes.
allowed us to reunite.
I love that. And you know what? That one thing, and you and I have talked about this ad nauseum, is that you take the one step and then the next step becomes more clear. So you don't need to know exactly how you're going to unwind this, 80, 90-hour work week situation. You're going to take one step, the next best step. And when you take that, the next thing that you're supposed to do, the next step you're supposed to take is going to become obvious. And that's exactly what happened with you, right? That you prioritized having dinner together and then things became more clear about how you could shift to doing something that energizes you, that doesn't drain you, and still even stay in that company that you had so many years of service with, right?
And the beauty of it is we interact with the universe all the time. So
Yeah.
taking that step actually places your first order. So the
Yes.
wild part while I was tumbling in the swirl of that thick, deep energy,
Yeah.
I wasn't actually claiming what I wanted. So universe could not have possibly delivered.
That's exactly right.
My cart was empty, so the shipping wasn't happening. When you
Yes.
take that one little step, and
Yes.
it could be even smaller than the homemade meal. It could be that your morning routine becomes a non-negotiable. Like you will actually get up, brush your teeth, put the makeup on, and you're going to allow yourself 15 minutes of uninterrupted time so that you are not putting mascara on at a traffic light,
Right. Yeah,
right?
I get it.
It's that wild realization that you're not that important, you're that important.
Mm.
You are that important to yourself where you make yourself non-negotiable. Because actually, you're not that important in the grand scheme of things. Like, no wheels didn't come off at work.
That's exactly
And
right.
fun fact, the division that I worked in is still working, and I haven't been there for years, and they're doing fine.
That's right. Yeah.
So that is that weird realization of you're not that important. You are that important to yourself.
Yeah. I love that. I love it. Oh, Lena, thank you so much for coming on and sharing a little bit about your funk and something very tangible that people can take and implement today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. Hey, if this episode resonated with you, please do me a favor. Help me reach the million people that I am on a mission to reach to help pivot out of the funk. Share this episode, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.